Hey everyone, and welcome back to yet another reaction. Basically all of my videos, I've listened to, a 3 to 5 minute song, and I've said, this one's going to be short, I promise. And none of them have been short so far. Pretty sure all of them have been over 15 minutes long. Now, all of that is to say, the song I'm going to be reacting to today is the entire trilogy of the Mara Effect by Spiritbox, live at what's called Silverside Sound, I believe. The Mara Effect trilogy is basically, it's in the name, it's a trilogy, and I believe it tells a single coherent story. And I'm not 100% sure what the story's actually about. I haven't looked into it too much. I just don't tend to look things up about songs, but I'm sure I can put things in post throughout the song, some text over here, and sort of clarify what this song is actually about, what it's relating to, that sort of thing. This is from the Mana Effect is from their first album, and I have listened to it a little bit. I mentioned in my previous Spiritbox reaction that I've listened to it a little bit and I enjoyed the Mana Effect. So it might seem a bit weird putting this in my first time reaction series. I was recommended to listen to this by Madball, it looks like. This is essentially just a live one through performance. I don't know if it's a one take yet or not. We'll see. Well, it's live. I assume it's a one take. Everything that's live is a one take, surely. I assume it's just like a continuous playthrough of parts 1 to 3, as if you were listening to it gapless. And so that's really exciting. And because it was recommended, and because I love Spiritbox, I'm going to give it a go anyway. Bear in mind, this is a 16.5 minute song. I'm not going to beat around the bush. This might be a long video. And I understand if you need to watch it in breaks, that's fair enough. I will try and insert the chapters where the splits between the songs are, so hopefully that can help a little bit. Yeah, this is going to be a long one. And to be honest, I don't actually really know the Mana Effect that well. I've listened to them a few times each, but I couldn't just sing it to you if it came to me. The same way with something like Holy Roller or Constance, something or Rotoscope. The same way with one of those songs, I could just start singing it here and now and I would know how it goes. With these songs, not so much. So even though it's technically not a first reaction, they're not embedded in my brain yet, which means it's pretty close to a first reaction. Plus, it's my first time seeing this live playthrough. So this intro has gone on long enough for a video that I've said is, 16.5 minutes long. So let's just get straight into it. No more wasting time, no more chatting nonsense. Let's watch the video and get started. Okay, good. I thought for a second my headphones had died, because I wasn't able to hear it. Interesting. I need to look up what this, what is it, Silverside Sound is? Is it a studio or is it just... I'm not sure. I'm not gonna lie, the radio static stuff is messing with my ears a bit. Okay, that dropped out when Courtney's vocals came in. Okay, I feel bad, stopping in the middle here of the break. We'll go back a little bit just to make sure we get the lead in again. One thing I wanted to mention about the guitarist, who I think is called Mike. One thing I really like about him is we know from quite a few of his songs that he is an incredible guitarist technically, and he can play some incredibly brutal breakdowns and just sort of vicious solos. You know, coming at it as a guitarist from the perspective as someone who is a guitarist and honestly not that good at guitar, definitely nowhere near as good as him. I think there can be a bit of ego in a lot of cases where when you're that good at playing guitar, you want to show that off constantly because you're like, people need to know how good I am at playing guitar because, I mean, you know, to an extent deserved because it's a lot of work to get that talented. However, in a lot of cases, the song doesn't call for it. There are a few songs, none that come to mind by name at the moment, but there's definitely been songs I've heard where I thought the guitar playing is impressive, but it doesn't add anything. Like there was no reason for it to be so needlessly, I guess, complicated. It felt like it was just to show off rather than to actually musically add to the song. And the reason I'm bringing all that up now is because, as I said, he is an incredible guitarist. But for this whole first minute of the song, and this is the first minute of a trilogy, so he has plenty of time to, you know, show off his skills and things like that. But for this first minute, he's essentially just playing 4 or 5 notes over and over again. And obviously, you know, most people can do that. I can do that. If I can do that, anybody can do that. What is so, I guess, impressive to me about that is it adds to the sound, it adds to the feel of the song. Because from what I'm gathering, you know, this song is from the perspective of somebody who doesn't sound particularly happy. And so it adds to the feel and the mood of the song for it to be such an empty sound. And again, this is something that he just does, and Spiritbox in general do so well across a lot of their discography, where they're not too egocentric that they want to always play the most technical stuff, because it's not always called for. And I just, that sort of came to mind while I was listening to this intro, and I just wanted to sort of throw that out there as props, as, you know, fair play to him for doing that. But let's keep it going here. We're a minute in. Come on, we gotta get moving. I was just looking up the lyrics just now, and that's the reason why I paused it. And it looks like it's essentially, you know, the story, at least in this first part, it's the story of, I'm not sure, a woman who's possibly in an abusive relationship. It feels like that from, you know, she's repeating "this is love" over and over again in a lot of places. Talking about different things like being in love and an ordinary life, but it feels like pain constantly. It's either about being in an abusive relationship and it's very literal, or literal to an extent, or, you know, it's figurative and it's just about kind of depression and that sort of thing. But now, one of the other things to point out is that there's this him over here. I'm getting really, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting confused by the camera angles, because now I feel like I'm doubting myself, where that feels like that's the same guy as the other camera angle, but the guitar is different, no? That's him. But here it's a light blue guitar, and here is a dark blue guitar. So either it's to do the lighting, or like a live recording with no processing, but the way they filmed the video is just, you know, they're doing the different parts. I thought this was going to be a live performance, but it feels like it's a live recording. Either that, it's the lighting. I'm sure, you know, me in the editing booth will just right here, right there we go, right there, will correct me and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Yeah, I was just getting a bit stun locked, to be honest. But yeah, we'll continue. Okay, so it's very unpractical for me to keep pausing this much during the longest song I've ever reacted to. But one thing I just wanted to point out very quickly is in a lot of Spiritbox's music videos, Courtney is speaking in the videos whenever she's doing the screaming parts of the song. I've noticed that before. It's very fun stylistically. It's also interesting to see her in this live setting where you see what she actually looks like when she's screaming, and you get to see the way she does a lot of different shapes with her mouth in order to actually make the sound, which whenever I've been trying to practice screaming, I do not use my mouth very much. Like, it's essentially just like that's the vocal, that's the shape that I do. It's and then I'm doing all the work in here. And that's probably quite damaging, to be honest. That's probably not great. It's just interesting to see how much she uses her mouth shape to modify the sound. Whereas I feel like, quite a lot of people that you see will modify it in the throat and the mouth shape stays wide. But especially when she's doing the low vocals, you can see her kind of bring her chin out. It's really interesting to just see, because you don't get to see that in the music videos very often. But anyway, we'll continue. We've got to get going. That's a gorgeous guitar. That's honestly a gorgeous guitar. There you go. You see what I mean? When she was going for that low there, it was like, rather than, it was very cool. Oh, the change up. Oh my god. I feel like it's just going to become a thing on this channel where every video I just gush about Courtney's vocals, even if she's not in it. But at least this one she's in. It's so good. I mean, this is what I mean, so is this a solo coming up? Look at that. Look at that. Look how talented of a guitarist he is. Look what he can just play, and his fingers look so fluid. My fingers always feel so stiff when I'm playing, and it's just so incredible to watch him play that. There's so many parts of the song. Even in the solo there was a wee part where he was just kind of going on the low notes and just going like doo 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 doo, and he was doing a bit of tapping just to kind of augment the sound of it. And it's all in service of sounding like it fits in the song and just sounding absolutely gorgeous as well as good, and as well as fast and cool. It's also to fit with the song, and I just love that so much. Absolutely gorgeous. Honestly, just a stunning song to listen to. I really like that sound in the guitar there. Like I really, he basically just went into a completely clean sound with the guitar at the end there. It almost just sounded like you're playing the electric guitar without an amp. Like that's the sound you were getting. There was almost no modification to it through the amp, from what I could tell. Like obviously he's playing it through an amp. It's just a clean tone. But I like that it's basically this sounded like the tone of playing a guitar. It added to the emptiness of the sound. This is definitely a song about somebody who's struggling with something, whether it's self issues or it's external issues in an abusive relationship. I'm just getting abusive relationship from it. I'm not sure why, but whatever it is, it really adds to that emptiness feeling of this first part, and I love that for an outro. It's just so calming in like an unnerving way. Does that make sense? Here comes the radio static back to mess with my head again. I guess this is all analog equipment, eh? Is that all analog equipment? Is this the start of part 2? I don't remember this being the start of part 2. Is this like their own interlude? Interesting. Okay, now I think this is part 2. So that was just like a wee was that the outro of 1 or? Not sure. One thing I really enjoy, it looks like 1016. I'm looking at the chapters just now. So that was 1016. Have I heard that? I'm not sure. That was really nice, that wee interlude bit. One thing I like about this part so far, the beginning, is it's a very weird and offbeat tempo. Again, if you're going for the themes of the song, which seem like it's not positive, let's put it that way, it really works so well for that, because you feel on edge. I guess the sound is a bit more unpredictable as a result of that weird tempo shift. But I love the weird tempo shift, like not weird in a bad way, weird in an amazing way. Let's go back and go from the beginning of the song of part 2 again. Yeah, this was gorgeous. I love this. And then straight into like the tempo change up. Like that's just so you can't move into a groove with it. Yeah, it's just like switching tempos over and over, and now it's a third different tempo. It really adds to that sense of unease, you know. And I will just pause quickly and say, the guitarist's been getting a lot of love. Courtney with the vocals been getting a lot of love. Mad respect to the bassist. I'm normally the kind of person who can't really hear bass on a song as it is, but the bass adds so much to this, and I've found that with another band, Ginger, as well. The bass in Ginger's songs adds so much. But mad respect to the drummer. I know that I think I mentioned this in my Elenium video, there was some on and offs with the drummer where they weren't People weren't sure who was involved, that sort of thing. But I mean, this drummer is killing it. You know, fair play. Drums is one of those things that even just doing something simple on them is not easy. And whenever I've tried drums, I'm awful. It's truly horrendous. I am so good at keeping a beat with, you know, my voice and with my guitar. I just cannot keep a beat on a drum, which that's kind of one of the main things you need to do is keep a beat, you know? I'm not made for that kind of, I guess, multitasking with your two hands doing two different things and your feet doing two different things. And I've got nothing but respect for drummers. They just use so much energy and they have to be always on time, and they're also still finding the time to do like incredible stuff. So, mad respect. I love that guitar bit, the ding, the quick hammer-ons. And her tone is so gorgeous throughout this bit. Her clean tone is so gorgeous. Again, that tempo shift just messes with you, doesn't it? You're trying to groove along and you just can't get into it that way. It's crazy how they're all just doing this like flawlessly in this kind of live recording setting, you know? I need a lot of takes to get something right. That's my problem. See, again with the mouth shapes, I'm not a vocal coach, otherwise I would have put that in the title of the videos, because that seems to do well on YouTube. I feel like you don't see people using mouth shapes that much in the creation of the sounds, you know what I mean? I feel like it's obviously used by a lot of people, but I just don't feel like I see it as much as, you know, people using kind of the internal part of their mouth, I guess, and the throat and all that, and what they activate to create the different tones. But I feel like when you watch Courtney sing clean, even Harsh, to be honest, she uses the same techniques, it looks like, for tone modulation. Is just her mouth does so many different weird shapes that make the sound exactly what it is she wants it to be, and it's just an impressive amount of control, because I have no control over my mouth. As you're well aware from the runtime of these videos, I have no control. There's no stopping this thing. Anyway, that's my little rant. Let's continue. I love how many cymbals he has, man. It's so good. What a breakdown, man, honestly. And then that's just the end of part 2. I guess. It looks like they're doing a bunch of changeovers, so it's a good point to pause. See, this is what I mean when I say I have listened to these songs, but I always forget things. I mean, it's just it feels like a breakdown of, I guess, the mental fortitude of the main character of the song. It's just incredible how the tone can shift, because the whole part two has been a little desperate, but between the vocals and the guitar and all that, it's been mostly like you felt uneasy as a result of the various tempo changes, but it's been mostly kind of stable, and then the breakdown just comes in and just never resolves, I guess. Because in a lot of breakdowns, you have the breakdown and then you have like a dun dun to like end the song if it's at the end, or if it's in the middle, you go back into the rest of the song. But here it just, like, they just bend out of the breakdown and then the breakdown just stops. Like, they just never play another note to like end it, and that feels so puts you so in such an uneasy place, but in such a good way. It really gives you, I feel like, the effect that they're going for. I also just want to quickly say, because I've noticed that in the last section there, I think either in the breakdown, no, yes, in the breakdown, the guitarist was obviously playing the breakdown part, because you could see he was strumming the lowest strings, but there was clearly a high part going that you could hear that was like din 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 din, din, that sort of thing. I assume that's just a not a backing track, but I assume that's just like he recorded that in advance and then that plays while they do their live recording right now. That is my presumption of what's going on there. But I mean, it's good, because that's the thing sometimes when you've only got one guitarist but you've written a song with two guitar parts, you're going to need to use tracking, or you're going to need to get a second guitarist, and it's just one of those things that you're going to have to do to get the sound that you want to get. And so live, sometimes that sound can be lost a bit. But anyway, we're just, I assume, on the way out of part 2, heading into part 3, so let's keep it going. I love that light blue guitar, it's gorgeous. Oh, and the solid red guitar, now that's gorgeous. Showing they're really doing it live, I suppose. I love the head on that guitar. I don't think I've ever seen a 7-string that's done that with the 4 and the 3. Is that 7-string or is that an 8? I think it's a 7. Again, I like that this intro is quiet because it feels like you are recovering from the breakdown of part 2, if that makes sense. That's a surprisingly funky vocal line. Oh, I'm sorry. I love that. I love that low. When she said low and she went low, I just really love that. She did not sound like me. I sounded like a froggy Bugs Bunny. She didn't sound like that. She sounded good. I sounded terrible. But you get what I mean. Like the effect of it. She went low. What I do like about this last part of the So I'm reading the lyrics here, from hurt me with your mouth to the enemy hits me so low. It's just been, the vocal line's just been going. It's almost been kind of beat poem rap style. I really like how she's done that with the vocal line, because the guitar and the bass and the drums together in this part so far don't have a particularly distinct tempo that you can latch onto. So, the vocals can often follow that tempo set by the instrumentals. I feel like fitting vocals in there can be a bit trickier. I really like the way she's gone for that almost beat poem style, because it's a lot. Not only is it a lot easier to make that fit into whatever kind of beat you need, but it also just adds such a nice effect to how the lyrics are coming out. And I really like that. We're gonna go back a wee bit just so we can get the low again, because I really like that low. Low, so good. Ooh. That tonal shift was interesting. I love these downbeats, these downbeat bits. They've been scattered throughout the three parts. I feel like part two was probably the most high energy of the three, because that felt, maybe the most frantic, I would say. Part one was almost like reckoning with it. Part two was realizing you've got an issue, and then coping very badly, shall we say. And then part three almost feels like, right, I'm down here at rock bottom. What do I do now? Basically. And that downbeat feel of the song fits with that theming. When you feel in that place, you don't feel high energy. You don't have any energy, because you're spending all your energy, fighting what. And I've had a look around. I've had a research. Some people are saying it's about sleep paralysis, that sort of thing. But I do get the feeling of kind of just general negativity. At first I was thinking abusive relationship, but it doesn't feel literal enough throughout the lyrics for that to be the case. So I feel like it's more of a battle within the self, a battle with negativity and sadness, that sort of thing. And so when you've been fighting that so long, you're tired. And this I feel captures that, with you have small bursts of like getting angry about it, and then you just go back to being exhausted. And yeah, I just find the theming really nice. And again, going back to what I mentioned in part one, with all the instrumentalists are super talented, but they're willing to go with that slowness, not trying to show off, just so that they can hit and create the full piece that is this song. That sounds very desperate, that vocal. Also, I love his facial expressions. I don't know if you'll notice through the video, I love his facial expressions when he's playing. He's just in the zone. Go. I love that line. And there's the radio static back. Well, the guitar line is feels quite Nirvana. It's very unsettling. Oh my god. I mean, that whole kind of, repeating the same words first in the. She started in it's the my skin crawls, my chest heaves, punish me. The very first part she said, it was in the cleans, but then the punish me kind of went off into more of a shout, not rather than harsh vocals screaming. It was more of just a yell of frustration, and then it comes straight in and hits you with the harsh vocals and the breakdown and the instruments, and you were already feeling uneasy as a result of, well, first off, the whole song. I know, but then the start of the My Skin Crawls bit, that guitar line was very uneasy and everything was kind of low. You knew something was coming, and then it just hits you, and I don't even have the words, which is not great when you're filming a reaction video, but I don't even have the words. It's so good. I love. Sorry, I'm just immediately pausing again. That sound he does in quite a few songs. He does it in Constance. That sound is used in that song as well to represent like a breakdown of the memory and of the mind. It's used in quite a few Spiritbox songs actually, where he does that with the strings to sort of represent that extra like falling apart feeling essentially, because it's so kind of jarring when you first hear it, because it's like the screech of the strings. It's so effective. You hear it, you pick it up immediately. You know it just goes through you. Whereas a breakdown could blend into one, that just like pulls you out of it, and you're like, oh shit, I've got to be listening. That sort of thing. I want to see how he does it though. Does he just scrape the string? Oh yeah, he's like scraping up the string with the picks. I love that sound so much. It's so good. I want to be able to do that. Ooh, what a final line. And then the guitar comes back in to really make you feel like it's dissolving, you know? That radio static really goes through me, man. Not gonna lie. Wow. I mean, just incredible. I feel like I definitely picked up more what the song was actually going for through listening to it kind of all in one go. But anyway, let's go and give our final thoughts on that, because that was long. Final thoughts. I mean, first off, incredible. I gushed throughout about Courtney's vocals, and I'm gonna look this up. I believe it is Mike. I believe it is Mike. Yes, Mike Stringer. Okay, it was Mike. I've been avoiding saying his name the whole video. Yeah, I've gushed about them two for the whole video. I'm just going to give a little bit more on that here. Courtney's vocals were just immaculate for the whole thing. It really captured the feel when it needed to. Like, her cleans, gorgeous tone, absolutely gorgeous tone to it. Her harsh vocals are always super powerful, like they go through you. And, you know, she can do the range, she can do the high screams and the low screams as well. And again, a lot of it seems to be in that mouth shape, as I mentioned earlier on. Especially the lows, you notice the chin kind of comes out more, and it's just, It's really impressive to watch. Mike on the guitar, just incredible work. As I said throughout, and I want to just reiterate this here, he is clearly an incredible guitarist, and he shows that off in this video. But not only that, he shows off how to pull back and do what the song requires, not just what feels good. Because it always feels good to do, 15 sweeps in a row. I wouldn't know. I can't sweep pick. I'm not able to sweep pick. I'm terrible. I'm awful at guitar. But it feels good to do, a bunch of sweeping, a bunch of tapping, to play really crazy solos, and it always feels great. But the songs don't always demand that. And in this song, where so much of it is about the breakdown of your mental state, obviously breakdowns capture that fine, but in the middle areas, that breakdown isn't constant. There's always like some small areas of reprise, and when there's that reprise, you don't want to capture that by doing sweep picking and playing 120 notes in a second. You capture that by doing a few small notes, the bass playing like one or two notes occasionally, and the drum just doing a little beat, and that feels like the reprise before you go right back into being hit in the face by the negativity over and over again. It's just an absolute talent, an absolute joy to watch him actually play. The bassist, honestly, the bassist in Spiritbox is definitely one of the most, I suppose, one of the most prominent basses that I hear when I'm going through listening to music. I don't hear bass a lot in songs, but in Spiritbox, you get the feel, and especially, as I said, in those low moments, the bass gets to shine by really sort of demanding attention, which is something bass doesn't normally get to do. And then the drummer, I feel like, again, there wasn't a lot of places. There was a few, but there wasn't a lot of places to show off how talented the drums are. There's definitely other songs where you show off the craziness that the drummer can do, but the song didn't call for that in a lot of places. He respected that, and he played what felt right for that part. Obviously, it's a written song, but you know what I mean? Like, when they were writing the song, they played what felt right for that part. And the song was clearly a cohesive work. Whereas some songs, you're like, they've written a cool riff, and they're like, I want to build a song around this riff. Or somebody's written a cool lyric, they want to write the song around that lyric, just so they can include it. This song feels like they had a concept they were going for, and the whole band was in on it. That is when you get these kind of, immaculate pieces of work. And I keep saying song, it's technically 3 songs, but, it's the same as the Pain Remains trilogy. You need to listen. You can't just listen to part 2 and then move on. You need to listen to the full thing in one go to really appreciate each part as it comes and how it tells the story throughout. And from what I could gather from the story, as I said, it feels like kind of more a fight against general sadness, general negativity. And to be honest, it feels like struggling to deal with that sadness that comes with being alive. But they are fighting, and that comes through in kind of the anger in the screams and in the breakdown areas, where that is trying to fight back and basically feel better. And it was really cool to see in a live set. And as I said, I don't really often get to see them just play. Unfortunately, I don't have tickets for their gig. They're coming here in July, and I'm not going to be able to go, which is really sad. If Spiritbox happened to watch this video, I would happily pay you, triple the money just to get in. I just don't want to pay triple the money to a scalper to get in. I would rather not go than pay the money to a scalper. But if there's any spare tickets going, I will pay. I will pay to get to that gig. But you don't really get many opportunities to see them perform in their music videos. And so it was really nice to see this live recording and to just kind of experience what that looks like. But genuinely, such a nice way to experience this trilogy, and thank you for recommending this. I mean, what an incredible performance. What an incredible performance. I think this might be my favourite performance, even over the recorded versions. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you made it through this whole video, my recording's at 53 minutes. I don't know what the video after editing will be, but it's going to be over 40 minutes, I'm pretty sure. So if you made it through all of this, thank you very much. You didn't need to do that. this was a joy to see this live performance, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you have any other recommendations for me, I will try to cover them and add them to my list. If not, I have my own kind of list of things I want to go through. I will always try to honour recommendations first where possible. So please do leave them in the comments below. Be sure to, like the video and subscribe if you want to come back. I don't think I've said that in any of my videos so far. It feels a bit weird to say that out loud. It does genuinely help, and it's nice to see people, enjoying the videos and appreciating the reactions, because what I'm trying to do with these is to just talk about the music and give my thoughts, not as an expert. As I said earlier, I'm not a vocal coach, I'm not a particularly good guitarist, I've not done music production, I'm not an expert. You're not coming here for expert advice. But I'm hoping what you're getting out of this is just getting to appreciate some good music with somebody else. And that's what I really enjoy about doing these, is getting to appreciate good music and, put my thoughts out there and know that there's a chance that people are gonna chat back and we're gonna have a good discussion about this stuff. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video, which I promise has to be shorter than this one. Unless we cover Dream Theater. Maybe we'll cover Dream Theater just to make it really funny. But anyway, that aside, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.